Hello everyone, I, Rakhi Chauhan, Assistant Professor in Zoology in Government College for Girls, Sector 14, Gurugram, is making this video under the aegis of Directorate of Higher Education, Haryana. I am making this video for the student of BSc Pass course, Semester 4 in the subject of Zoology. I am going to teach the topics spermatogenesis and capacitation of spermatozoa in this video. Before discussing the spermatogenesis, I will briefly discuss reproduction. Reproduction is a biological process by which new individuals called offsprings are produced from parents. It basically ensures the continuity of life on the earth. There are two types of reproduction: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, a single individual gives rise to new individual, while in case of sexual reproduction, two individuals, that is one male and one female, are needed to give rise to new individuals. There are no gametes formed in asexual reproduction, while in sexual reproduction there is formation of gametes. New individuals formed by asexual reproduction are identical to parents, while the new individuals formed by sexual reproduction are genetically similar but not identical to the parents. There are different modes of asexual reproduction such as budding, fragmentation, binary fission, and multiple fission. Asexual reproduction generally takes place in lower organisms such as amoeba, hydra, etc., while sexual reproduction occurs in higher organisms, including human beings. So, I will teach only sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is a process in which new individuals are produced by the fusion of germ cells called as gametes. Now, the male gamete is known as sperm or spermatozoa, while the female gamete is known as egg or ovum. The fusion of sperm and egg leads to the formation of zygote. Now, the process of formation of sperm is known as spermatogenesis, while the process of formation of egg is known as oogenesis. In this video, I will take only spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is a process in which male gametes, which are known as sperms, are produced in the seminiferous tubule of the testes from the spermatogonia. You can see this figure. This is the transverse section of seminiferous tubule of a testes. Now you can see these are the different stages during the formation of sperm or spermatogenesis. First of all, spermatogonium is formed, then primary spermatocytes, then secondary spermatocyte, then spermatid are formed which get converted into sperm. I will discuss this process in detail. Now, the process of spermatogenesis, it begins during the puberty and it continues throughout the life of a male. In a normal healthy male, about 300 million sperms are produced every day. The formation of sperm, as I already told, takes place in seminiferous tubules, while the maturation occurs in the epididymis. Now, I will discuss the process of spermatogenesis in detail. Spermatogenesis is mainly divided into two main steps. First one is formation of spermatid from the spermatogonia, and the second step is basically the formation of mature sperm from spermatids, and this is known as spermiogenesis or spermatilliosis. The first step, that is formation of spermatid from spermatogonia, is further divided into three phases. First one is proliferative phase, second one is growth phase, and the third one is maturation phase. In the next step, that is the spermiogenesis, various changes occurs in the spermatid formed in the previous stage to form the mature sperm. Changes occur in the nucleus, in the Golgi complex, in the centriole, in mitochondria, and in the cytoplasm. All these changes ultimately changes the spermatid into the sperm. Now I will discuss the first step of spermatogenesis in detail. First step is the formation of spermatid from the spermatogonia. It is divided into three main phases: proliferative phase, growth phase, and maturation phase. In proliferative phase, rapid mitotic division of the primordial germ cells which are present in the seminiferous tubule of the testis occur to form a large number of spermatogonia. Some of these spermatogonia remain as precursor stem cell that undergo mitosis to form large number of spermatogonia, and the rest enter into the growth phase to form the sperms. In the growth phase, one of the spermatogonia stop dividing and grow in size by accumulating cytoplasm and replicating DNA to form primary spermatocyte. These primary spermatocyte are much larger than the spermatogonia. Now, this step is followed by maturation phase. In maturation phase, the primary spermatocytes undergo meiosis I or reductional division to form two secondary spermatocytes. Now these secondary spermatocytes undergoes meiosis II or equational division to form four spermatoids. So basically there is the formation of four spermatid from one spermatogonia. Now after that, spermiogenesis occur, which basically converts these spermatids into mature spermatozoa which are released in the lumen of seminiferous tubule. I will discuss the spermiogenesis in detail. Spermiogenesis is basically the process of conversion of haploid spermatids into mature spermatozoa or sperms. It basically involves the extensive remodeling of the spermatid without further division. As you can see in this diagram, this is a circular rounded spermatid which get converted into a long elongated sperm. Various changes occur during this process. First is the movement of cell organelles to the positions which are characteristic of the mature sperm. Second, changes in the cell organelles occur. And third is the loss of cytoplasm. Now I will discuss these changes one by one. First of all, what are the changes that occurs in the nucleus of spermatid? The nucleus of spermatid shrink by losing water from the nucleoplasm and assumes a characteristic shape and forms the head of the sperm. It basically consists only of condensed DNA and basic protein. The nucleus of the mature sperm lacks RNA, acid proteins and nucleolus. Now I will discuss the changes that occur in the Golgi complex that basically leads to the formation of acrosome. I will explain this with the help of this diagram. First of all, Golgi complex gathers in front of the nucleus. A proacrosomal granule develops inside the Golgi complex. Now this proacrosomal granule fuses with the anterior side of the nucleus and enlarges to form the acrosomal granule that ultimately forms the acrosome. The membrane of the Golgi complex forms a sheath around the acrosome and the remaining Golgi complex is discarded. This remaining Golgi complex is discarded. Now I will discuss the changes that occurs in the centrioles, mitochondria and cytoplasm of the spermatid that ultimately convert it into mature sperm. First of all, I will discuss the changes that occur in the centriole. Now the centriole of the spermatid, they shift behind the nucleus and come to lie one after the another. The anterior centriole is known as proximal centriole, while the posterior one is known as distal centriole. The proximal centriole takes up a position in a pit on the nucleus at right angle to the axis of the sperm, as you can see in this figure, while the distal centriole basically functions as a basal body and give rise to the axial filament, which ultimately forms the tail of the sperm. Now I will discuss the changes that occur in the mitochondria. The mitochondria shift behind the centriole. These are the mitochondria, as you can see in this figure. They shift behind the centrioles and they get arranged in a spiral around the axial filament and forms the middle piece of the tail. Now I will tell you about the changes that occurs in the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm basically forms a sheath around the head, mitochondria and axial filament of the tail, as you can see in this diagram. And most of the cytoplasm is discarded in the form of residual body. This will keep the sperm very small and light for easy swimming. As you can see in this figure, the spermatid contains a lot of cytoplasm while there is very little amount of cytoplasm in the sperm. This is all about spermatogenesis. Now I will discuss the structure of sperm with the help of this diagram. A mature sperm is around 60 micrometer long and it is divided into two main parts, head and tail. Head is basically, as you can see in this figure, a flattened pointed structure which is around 4 to 5 micrometer long and it is much shorter than the other part. Now, head basically consists of nucleus and acrosome. The nucleus is basically present here inside the head. It contains around 23 highly condensed chromosomes. Acrosome basically forms the anterior part of the head. It basically forms anterior 2/3 of the head and it is a cap-like vesicle which is filled with enzyme, hyaluronidase and protease that basically helps the sperm to penetrate the membrane of the oocyte during fertilization. Now I will discuss about the tail of the sperm. It is divided into four main parts: neck, middle piece, principal piece and the last one is end piece. Neck, as you can see in this diagram, is a constricted region just behind the head and it contains the centrioles. The centrioles forms the microtubules that basically comprise the remainder of the tail. Now middle piece, this is the middle piece of the sperm. It basically contains mitochondria which are arranged in a spiral and these mitochondria basically provide the energy in the form of ATP for the locomotion of sperm to the site of fertilization and also provide energy for sperm metabolism. Now this is the principal piece of the tail. It is basically the longest portion of the tail. Now at the last is present a very thin portion, that is the end piece. It is the terminal tapering portion of the tail. I will discuss the hormonal control of spermatogenesis. It is basically the study of hormones that regulate the process of spermatogenesis. The hormones that regulates the process or control the process of spermatogenesis are gonadotropin releasing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, testosterone, etc. I will discuss the hormonal control with the help of this figure. Now, as you can see, at puberty, hypothalamus contains certain neurosecretory cells that start secreting a hormone, that is gonadotropin releasing hormone. This hormone in turn stimulates the anterior pituitary to release two hormones, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. This luteinizing hormone stimulates the Leydig cells which are present between the seminiferous tubules to secrete a hormone, that is testosterone. Now testosterone is a steroid hormone which is synthesized from the cholesterol present in the testes. It is lipid soluble and it can readily diffuses out of the Leydig cell into the interstitial fluid and then into the blood. This testosterone also via negative feedback inhibit the secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone by the hypothalamus and also inhibit the secretion of luteinizing hormone by anterior pituitary. This testosterone hormone along with follicle stimulating hormone stimulates the Sertoli cells present in the testes to secrete androgen binding protein. This androgen binding protein keeps the concentration of testosterone high. Sertoli cells also secrete another hormone, that is inhibin. This inhibin hormone inhibits the secretion of follicle stimulating hormone by the anterior pituitary. Now, the testosterone performs various functions. It either directly or it get converted into dihydrotestosterone and stimulates the development of various male characters. It stimulates the development of male pattern before the birth, that is the development of reproductive organs before the birth. It also stimulates the enlargement of male sex organs and also causes the expression of male secondary sexual characteristics at puberty. It also stimulates the protein synthesis in men, which leads to heavier muscle and higher body weight as compared to women. Now, the last topic that I will discuss in this video is capacitation of sperm. Capacitation of sperm are basically a series of functional changes that occurs when the sperm comes into the female genital tract. These changes basically makes the sperm tail to beat more vigorously and prepare its plasma membrane to fuse with the plasma membrane of the secondary oocyte. There are different changes that are involved during the process of capacitation. First of all, the membrane of the sperm becomes more permeable to the calcium ions, so that large number of calcium ions enters into the sperm due to the electrochemical gradient. Entry of these calcium ions induce the following changes. First one is hyperactivity. It basically makes the sperm hyperactive, that is, the tail of the sperm become more active and undergo powerful whiplash movement. Now the second are the changes that occur in the acrosomal membrane, which basically leads to the easy and rapid release of the acrosomal enzyme at the time of contact between the acrosome and the ovum. Acrosomal membrane also become weak due to the loss of cholesterol and glycoproteins from the membrane of acrosome in the uterine fluid. The fluid which is present in the uterus and the fallopian tube washes away the inhibitory factors which are present on the sperm. Now I will discuss some MCQs related to the spermatogenesis and capacitation. First of all, which of the following happens during spermatogenesis? The options are mitosis, meiosis, none of the above, both mitosis and meiosis. As I already discussed in the first step of spermatogenesis that both mitosis as well as meiosis occur during the formation of sperms. Mitosis basically increases the number of spermatogonia and meiosis also occurs. So the right answer is D, both mitosis and meiosis. The next question is spermatogenesis takes place in option A, Sertoli cells, option B, seminiferous tubules, option C, Leydig cells, and option D is none of the above. The right answer is the seminiferous tubules of the testes in which spermatogenesis takes place. The next question is which part of the sperm provide energy during movement? The options are tail, head, middle piece and acrosome. The correct answer is middle piece, as it contains mitochondria, which basically provide energy during the movement. So the right answer is C, that is middle piece. Now the next question is the correct sequence of cell stage in spermatogenesis is: during spermatogenesis, first of all, spermatogonia are formed, then spermatocytes, primary spermatocytes and then secondary spermatocytes are formed. After that, spermatids are formed, which get converted into spermatozoa by spermiogenesis. So the correct sequence is D, that is spermatogonia, spermatocytes, spermatids and then last is spermatozoa. Now the next question is the acrosome of sperm is made up from. Now the options are mitochondria of spermatid, Golgi complex of spermatid, nucleus of spermatid, centrosome of spermatid. So the right answer is B. Golgi complex of spermatid forms the acrosome as they accumulate in front of the nucleus and forms the proacrosomal granule, which get converted into acrosome. The next question is capacitation of sperms occurs in A. Vagina, B. Female genital tract, C. Vas efferents, D. Vas deferens. Capacitation is basically the further maturation or increase in the activity of the sperm when it enters the female genital tract. So the right answer is female genital tract. The next question is enzymes present in the acrosome of sperm include hyaluronidase, B. protease, C. none of the above and D. both. So the right answer is both. It contains both these enzymes, hyaluronidase and protease. The next question is meiosis occurs in which phase of spermatogenesis? The options are proliferative phase, growth phase, maturation phase and D is none of the above. So the right answer is C, maturation phase, in which meiosis 1 and 2 both occur. Now the last question is luteinizing hormone stimulate the fertilized cells to secrete which hormone? A. progesterone, B. testosterone, C. estrogen, D is the androgen binding protein. The right answer is B. testosterone. Now I will discuss some short questions and answers in this video related to the topic spermatogenesis. The first question is define spermatogenesis. The answer is spermatogenesis is a process by which male gametes called sperms are produced in the seminiferous tubule of the testes from the spermatogonia or sperm mother cells. Now the next question is how many sperms are produced each day? In a normal healthy male, about 300 million sperms are produced every day. Next question is which cells of the testes provide nourishment to the spermatozoa? The Sertoli cells present in the testes provide nourishment to the spermatozoa. So answer is Sertoli cells. Next question is what is the site of production of sperms in testes? Now, the answer is production of sperms takes place in the seminiferous tubule of the testes. Next question is how are the primary spermatocytes produced? Primary spermatocytes are produced during the growth phase of the spermatogenesis. During this, the spermatogonia stop divided and grow in size by accumulating cytoplasm and replicating DNA, which ultimately form the primary spermatocytes, and this process is also known as spermacytogenesis. The next question is, what is spermiogenesis or define spermiogenesis? The process of conversion of haploid spermatids into the mature sperms or spermatozoa is known as spermiogenesis. It is also known as spermateleosis. The next question is, what is capacitation? Capacitation is basically a series of functional changes that occurs in sperm when it enters into the female reproductive tracts, and these changes ultimately makes the sperm's tail to beat more vigorously and prepare its plasma membrane to fuse with the plasma membrane of the secondary oocyte. The next and the last question I am going to discuss is, name the hormones that are involved in the regulation of spermatogenesis. Various hormones such as gonadotropin releasing hormone, which is secreted by the hypothalamus, luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, which are secreted by the anterior pituitary, are involved in the regulation of spermatogenesis. Now, these are the references. Thank you so much for watching this video.